Hi, Conscious Mothers. It's Honor here. So glad to be with you. Let's give a minute for people to come on. Really excited for today's topic. Very, very, very important topic to help you notice and acknowledge where you are and what's going on for you. And I've titled today's training COVID Depressed. Are you COVID depressed? And today we're really going to help you to just look at where you are and to learn if what you are struggling with is some form of feeling really depressed. And this is a two-part training, so all of you who are here are going to be excited that you'll get another piece tomorrow, which is how to know what to do about it. And you get to decide that. You get to choose. And there are lots of different forms of treatment that are available, may be available to you. Many things that you can do to help yourself to to cope with what's going on for you that you may not have noticed or may not realize yet. So say hi when you come on, and then we'll dive in. You guys tell me, give me a like if you can hear me, if we're all good to go, and then we'll dive in. Anyone out there? Tell me if you're here, if you can hear me. So, we ready? All right. I'm going to trust you're going to come on and get what you need. And the way Facebook loops these is that you can click in after we started and it will put you at the beginning, which is kind of magical. So say hello, click the like, one of the two, or give me some hearts when you come on if you're excited to be here. The juicy topic for today for our community is, are you struggling with depression since quarantine started, since COVID started? Or maybe you were okay in the beginning and then you started to slide into really struggling, deep in struggle. And I want to begin by saying that depression is such an anxiety. You know, these are words that carry a lot of weight for people, um, and also they're words that get thrown around, either stigmatized or just kind of as labels. And we really, many people walking around don't really know what it means. And some of you might not know what it means to struggle with feeling low, feeling depressed, feeling heavy. Uh, and you may be feeling that for the first time in your life during 2020, or like a lot of moms who reach out for help and who I have conversations with, that when you slow down to notice how you're feeling and what the struggle is about lately, that it's not really brand new, and that maybe you have felt um, sort of in the past, either for periods of time around certain life stages or on and off through motherhood, a struggle with feeling some of these things. And let's go over what they are, and you guys can tell me if you have any of these. I'm going to call them descriptors. They are also in the DSM symptoms, but I just find that categorizing things in terms of diagnoses and symptoms, often we just chuck it into this bucket in our brain that goes like, it doesn't mean anything. So I want this to mean something for you. The whole point of this talk is to really help you to get into ownership of how you feel. And let's start with what that is. So right now, from the top of this call, I want you to put into the comments, and if you watch the replay, I want you to do the same because not many people are on live right now for some reason. I want you to drop in the comments just sort of one of the basic problems that you notice in terms of how you feel, like anxious or like irritable or like depressed, heavy, sad, anything that you're able to notice. And if you did my challenge in this group, then you are well aware of what your one thing is that you're struggling with most right now. If you haven't done that piece, just tune in right now and ask yourself, like, how do I mostly feel that I don't like? What is that thing? And drop it in the comments, and don't be shy. Okay, nobody's going to see this unless they're in the group. So this is just for our private group. Some symptoms that I'm noticing, and yeah, I've been a practitioner for a long time. I've been a practitioner for about 16 years, and have worked with women and moms all that time. And one of the things I know is that based on whatever your view of the world is, your sort of identity, your expectations of yourself as a mom, you're going to maybe notice these things, or you're going to maybe think it's just the way it is. It's just normal. This is just the only way there is. This is how my mom was, and this is what I know to be normal. And sometimes those thoughts are not helpful. Sometimes they create a whole lot of oppression. They create a lot of serious depression, and they really will hold you back. I got a lot of light coming in. Hang on one sec. I'm just going to lower this so that I'm not distracted by that. Okay. So let's start from a few of these descriptors. And, well, that didn't do it at all. The light must be coming from the other window. Okay. Well, it is what it is. I don't want to lower that one too. All right. Okay, so we're going to start from the top, which is a lack of motivation. So raise your hand if you have experienced a feeling lately settling in that sounds like I just don't want to do anything. And I just don't want to do anything. I don't feel motivated. I don't want to get up and do stuff. I'm just feeling bleh. Just bleh, right? So let's start there. What does that create? It just creates a total apathy, right? Just a apathy, and then often there's a spiral, and a lot of women are telling me this lately. Like there's a spiral of like I just don't care, and then there's a I don't even know what the point is because I don't care, and or I feel horrible about myself as a mom. I feel guilty because I just can't even muster any kind of desire for connection with my kids. I want that, but I don't know how to have that right now because I'm so depleted, run down, exhausted that I don't feel motivated at all to even really be here and be present. All right. That is a super depressed kind of feeling and thought to be sitting in. And it's really hard to sit in. Um, a lot of the moms who I speak to will say, I'm not in bed all day. I have to get up because I'm going to show up for my children, especially people who have young children. I'm going to get up for them. But that is the only reason why I'm getting up. And I'm not enjoying any of it. Okay. Also, you might feel just really like you can't remember the last time that you felt like yourself. I'm hearing that a lot lately. I just feel like I don't feel like me. I'm not me anymore. I've lost a whole sense of what does that mean to be me, to have fun, to get excited about something. So another big one is you're not excited about anything. If you've lost the excitement, you've lost the spirit of life. That's another thing that might be coming up for you if you're feeling depressed lately. If you are noticing about yourself that you aren't smiling much, or if someone has said to you, often it's the kids who'll say, when they see you smile and it's been a while, or they hear you laugh, you'll see them getting caught off guard. And heard this lately. A couple different moms in the past week said that their kids pointed out to them, "Why are you never happy anymore?" So it's hard to acknowledge. I feel so much. I'm a big feeler. I feel so much in my heart about that for the kids, that for them to see mom's light is out. Where is mom? Like, where is she? They're going to try to do everything in their power to wake you up, whether it's for the better or the worse, to get your attention, to connect with you. A lot of them are going to get more attention seeking because they can't find you. There's nothing to connect with, and there's no fun and laughter anymore, right? If you feel an underlying sadness, there might be a sadness that you just can't shake. That also is another sign. I've heard also a lot of people are feeling more irritable than they were before quarantine started. Like, I don't know how to be, I can be me in the way life was, but I don't know how to be me happy me who's taking care of myself in this version of my life, right? So I'm stuck. I don't know how to do that. If you're having trouble focusing, or you're fixating on problems, you're fixating on problems, you're fixating on the negative, you're chewing on that a lot, you're focusing on it, you're spiraling out because of it. If you are unable to control your own emotions, so you're just boiling over, you're erupting, you're snapping at people, these are all signs that are connected to feeling really low right now, or feeling depressed, feeling overwhelmed. You might, and I've heard this phrase again like 4 or 5 times in the last week, I feel like I am falling apart, or it might feel like my life is falling apart. That what once held meaning for me, and and how I once felt about how I was doing as a mom is just falling to pieces. That I've lost that, right? So, say any of these ring bells for you, drop that one in the comments. I want to see which ones are feeling real for you. I've heard a lot lately, what's the point? I'm not sure what the point is. I feel like I've lost the point. Life is supposed to be fun. I know that much. It's about human connection. I know that much. And I'm not enjoying any of it. Just not enjoying any of it. And so, as a result of that, I feel so down on myself. I feel so desperate, or so low that I can't recover. I'm just kind of staying in this gutter emotionally. So raise your hand if you've had any moments, and it may be a day, or it may have been the last 2 weeks. And usually that's when people will reach out. They just hit a breaking point and they feel like, I just can't allow myself to go on in this state, alienating myself from my kids anymore. And if you've been in suffering for one day at all, it really is one day too many. It is. It's one day too many for you and for your kids. That any amount of suffering is too much suffering. And just because your mom suffered doesn't mean that that's the only way to do it. And doesn't mean that it's an automatic. Or just because there's a pandemic, or because you're now working from home with kids, things may have gotten a lot more challenging. They may have gotten logistically a lot harder. You may be feeling like you don't know how to adjust to it, but it doesn't mean that there isn't a path of ease through this chaos, or that there isn't a path of predictability, of routine, of productivity for you that you can be in alignment with, just as things are so weird and wacky and unpredictable outside of your own home. Okay, so I just want you to know that, and know like you can have fun. You can find your own light no matter what's going on outside of you. But first step is noticing what you're feeling and being real with yourself about it. Okay? We have to do that piece first. So, a lot of these feelings that I'm describing, they may be old for you, they may be familiar for you, they may be things you struggled with in the past. They may be really old and familiar, your comfort zone. Maybe you've never felt totally alive or been able to sustain that kind of life feels so good. I feel so good. I know who I am kind of feeling. Um, but right now, for many people, what's happening is like, even if this is something familiar or old to you, it's settling into a new low. And this is how we know, this is why I'm calling this COVID depression. It's like a COVID related, it's a situational depression. And if you're feeling depressed in 2020, it's likely a situational depression. And many people who I've spoken to lately are running to their doctors to get a prescription, or they're running to their doctors to say something's wrong with me, my hair's falling out. A lot of people lately, their hair's falling. If your hair's falling out, say so in the comments so we can see. Yes, it's happening under stress to everyone who's under stress. Your hair's falling out, or you've just been diagnosed with Hashimoto's, or you are having such crazy heart palpitations you feel like you're going to drop, and you're worried that you're going to leave your kids without a mom. These are real things that some of you might be dealing with. And so, how is that going on? How did you get to a point where things are so off the hook that you might drop dead of a heart attack, or you're needing to be now heavily sedated just to be able to function to get through the day? And we could, like, we could spend all day talking about the pandemic and gender inequalities and relationship communication problems. And we could pin the tail on all those things and say, these are the problem. If it just wasn't for that, I'd feel so much better. But the reality is, with everyone who I'm speaking to, can you think of a time, like, when did this start? Everyone says, if I'm honest, it didn't start in March. It didn't start in March. Like, I've always struggled with a sense of, am I doing a good enough job here? Or I've always struggled with feeling in control of my emotions. I've always struggled to, like, try to please everyone. And so I always have felt depleted. But right now it's just like a new low, right? And so there is nothing to pull us out now. There's nowhere to go to escape it. There's nowhere to run and hide. We're really in it, up to our eyeballs, in terms of we're sitting in the thick of the kind of relationship to ourselves that we've created up to this point. Can you feel that? That's what we're getting to experience. And I myself included, I'm getting to sit with what aspects of my relationship with me need improving, what aspects of my relationship to taking care of me, or of being in flow with my spouse need to be refined. And these are things that I'm tackling in the present moment, because I know that avoidance doesn't work. I know that hiding or running from how I feel is going to lead to health problems like it has in the past. It's going to lead to chronic pain. It's going to lead to, or chronic avoidance for some of you. And this is not the path to wellness. It's not the path to wholeness. It's not the path to enjoying our kids, which is ultimately what I know everyone really wants. We want to be able to enjoy this here, what we've created. So as these things are inescapable now, our feelings, the situation, the constraints, the time, our minds will tell us things like, it's the problem is I don't have enough time, or the problem is my partner won't XYZ, or the problem is that I can't let support into the house because of COVID, or we can't see the grandparents. And you guys, I know there's a lot to feel sad about right now. There's a lot of loss, there's a lot of shifting, there's a lot to be scared about. I can feel it. I can feel it just swimming in the ether. And I also know that we have a choice in whether we tap into it, whether we flow energy to that, or whether we tap into something else, a higher energy, right? That beautiful divine self. So I'm hearing a lot of women are dreaming of escaping. I just want to run and hide. I just want to get out of here. I just want to run and escape. But I can't, because I wouldn't leave my kids. And so I'm stuck. And that's where a lot of people land. I'm stuck. I don't know where to go from here. And if you're like a lot of my clients and potential clients, you might be under this spell that sounds like, I'm so angry at myself, and have been spinning sometimes for years in feeling overwhelmed, or whatever the feeling of lost is. I should be able to do this on my own. I should be able to figure this out, right? I should be able to. Raise your hand if you are shoulding on yourself. I should be able to handle homeschool. A lot of people I talk to will be like, I'm not working right now. I quit my job in March or in January when I saw this thing coming. I took a leave of absence and handed the reins over to my partner to work more, so one of us could always be here, or vice versa. And so I'm only doing this. Or I went half time to work and I'm doing half time virtual school. Like, what's the problem? I'm a capable person. I've always had success in everything I've done, and I should be able to do this. But I'm drowning. I'm drowning, and there's not enough time, there's not enough energy. And if that is where you are, just be there, you guys. Don't try to run from it, escape it, avoid it. It's not serving you to do that. You're so much better off, and I'm going to offer you this shift. You're so much better off acknowledging what's happening for you. Okay? So the truth is, and how I'll respond to people when they say that in conversation with me is, so you think you're not doing it now? And people are like, well, I am, but it's terrible. I suck at it. You are doing it. You are. Most of you probably tuning in and listening to this, and probably almost everyone in the group is keeping up with all the things. You are taking your kids through the school day, or you are taking care of the house, or you are working from home with kids at home, or whatever you are doing right now. You are doing all these things. So let's not say I'm not able to do it. It's that you're doing it and you have been doing it for a long time. The shift is, instead of I can't keep going, I'm drowning, it's I'm doing this and I just don't like the way that it's going for me. I don't like the way that I'm doing it. Okay, that's the first shift. I don't like the way that I'm doing it. I don't like the way I feel in this current role, or something about the role needs to shift, meaning it needs to be shared more, or I need another different form of support. Something about this isn't okay for me. And hey, can we just get better at saying that as women? Like, hey, this isn't working for me. It's not working for me. So I'm going to have to shift something here, right? We're not going to take our cues from what everyone else thinks about it. Let's stop doing that. It's really demeaning, minimizing, and oppressing us. There's a shift into when we realize, like, yeah, this is happening for me. And yeah, I could keep doing it that way, but I don't like doing it that way. So maybe I should look into what I don't like about it, right? And the problem, the real problem is how you're doing it isn't working. That's it. It's how you're doing it isn't working. Okay? So get that. And then the next piece is, what's the cost of staying in, feeling depressed, and pushing through it? What's the cost of staying angry, irritable, yelling at your kids, blaming your partner, feeling like a victim, exhausted, angry? I said angry. Most people are angry. Uh, what is the real cost of it? One, you feel like crap. So you're living and breathing that every day. That's why people say I'm drowning on her. And the second piece is, what are you missing that you could be having right now? And no one thinks of this. Every moment, every day of this year has been an experience you could have been having that you missed, in terms of enjoyment, fun, play, creating memories, feeling alive, awakening to what is uncomfortable about this for me, and overcoming obstacles, and increasing your power and expressing yourself more clearly and having a bigger voice and a bigger presence, and leading your family from love, not from fear or anxiety or exhaustion or depression, or from forcing, from love. And that's what you're missing. So every moment that you spend feeling sad or incapable is a moment that could have been created and enjoyed and celebrated with your kiddos or with your whole family. So rather than wanting to run from them, you want to move toward them and you want to enjoy them. Make sense? Do you get the difference? So notice what the real problem is for you. What is the real cost of you staying swimming in these low energies, in the heaviness, dragging yourself around and just being like, I'm unmotivated, so I'm going to eat more sugar and drink more wine because I just want to sedate myself because I can't face the reality of where I am. And sometimes we have to do that for a while. I don't know why. I don't know why. That, I feel like that would be good to know. Sort of the same question. Why are some people more motivated to solve the problem than others? I don't know. I wish I did know. But all I can do here is share the truth as I see it and as I know it and as I'm experiencing it, in hopes that your consciousness will expand and awaken into what is your heart wanting. What are your heart's desires that are awakening through the crap? And that's the other piece that people miss. And the second shift, which is rather than feeling disconnected and then going, it's all my fault, and oh my God, I'm an awful mother, and just spiraling down that drain, rather than that, how about noticing the hurt or sadness, the rage, the feeling like a failure, however ugly it is, just see it, name it, be bigger than that. And then notice what sucks so much about it that you're focusing on is not doing anything for you. It's not doing anything for you, except one thing, that if you're able to see it and you're able to highlight what it is about what you don't like. I can't stand feeling on edge all the time, as an example. Or I just feel so stuck and I hate not being able to change it by myself. Whatever your thing is, if you're not happy with what that is, then the second shift for you is that let that thing that you don't like highlight your desire for something else. So, really get that. If I'm unhappy with how things are going right now, let's say as an example, I am very happy, but we're homeschooling our kids. My husband is in charge of that, and I'm running my business, and life is so beautiful, and it isn't perfect, and kids still are kids, and sometimes we feel annoyed at each other. Whatever. It's a boring story, but that's basically it. And we're really, really happy most of the time. And that said, uh, if I were really unhappy, or when in the past I have felt really unhappy or really stuck, the reason why that happens is because there's a burning desire here for something, and there's a cover on it, and I haven't let it out yet. So if I were to take that cover off and be like, I'm just gonna breathe into this, like, what am I wanting? What am I wanting? And reach out to me for a clarity call, for a coaching call, because this is the piece that will uncover for you, like, what nugget, what desire is hiding for you inside of this unhappiness, inside of the depression. And you guys, there is always something. And you know what? You want to see it. Because if you stay scared to look at that out of fear that you can't have it, you are 100% guaranteeing yourself you can never have it. You can't have it. It's the same thing with people who won't invest in themselves. It's like, I can't do that because I don't know. I just don't know how it's going to go. I don't have a guarantee. Well, you are guaranteeing yourself that if you don't invest in you, if you don't prioritize you, you will not grow. You cannot grow. That's it. That's the only guarantee there is. That if you want to know what goodness is here for you, you have to be courageous enough to uncover your desires. And those come from looking at what sucks. Do you get that? So I want to hear from you. I want you to put into the chat. I'm going to do a quick recap. So people, depressed moms, depressed in COVID, looks like totally unmotivated, apathetic, dragging yourself around, feeling like, what's the point? And I'm not enjoying any of it. So I just shouldn't be here. They might be better off without me. Circling that drain of hopelessness, but not ever leaving, because you won't, because you're not going to leave your kids. And so if you're going to be here, then I'm going to invite you into making these two shifts. One is I should be able to do this better. I should be able to figure this out on my own. If you haven't, you're not going to. Nothing gets better from negativity. Negativity does not create healing, right? So if you're stuck, you're stuck. You need help. Reach out for help. And if you don't like how it's going, you're still doing it, but you don't like how it's going. That's the real problem. That I don't know how to pull myself out of this is the problem. And the cost of staying in that is every moment and every day that you're missing living your best life, meaning in freedom, in fun, laughing with your kids, creating connections and relationships with them that you're going to have forever because you invested in it now. They're going to trust you. They already love you so much. They already think that you're the greatest thing in their world, no matter how much you F it up. They're just going to think that. So the love is really about giving them what they're worthy of, what they're deserving of. A healthy mom, a mom who knows that she is worthy, a mom who values herself. Okay. And the second shift is that uh, instead of focusing on what's really terrible or how bad we feel about how bad we feel, look at that in the face and ask, what is this showing me about what I want instead that's not this? Okay. And if you want help with that piece, then reach out to me, and that's what we do in the coaching call. But what I'll say now is, I want you to drop into here, like one of the two shifts that is big for you, and or what you know, if you do know what your desire is that you're being shown from the suck, then write that in the comments. Okay. Tomorrow we're diving into part two. Part two of COVID depression training is what treatment options are there for you, and kind of breaking down like which ones might be right for you. Okay, so we're going to dive into that. Come ready, come with your comments, come with your questions, drop them in the comments here. I'll circle back for you guys, and I hope this was so helpful for you. Tell me if yes, and look forward to seeing you for part two tomorrow. Okay, I'll post the time soon. I just have to I have to check my schedule and see what's open. Okay, you guys? See you again soon.